Hello, welcome back to another installment of my project. So this is just the current state which the project is in. I've very recently just gone on an alteration process of altering the condensation object, altering its dimensions in the z-axis to make it thinner so that it's stuck to the surface of the bottle better. This has basically resulted in it looking more realistic, as you can see in the render here. And as well, from the last little render which I've done here, I've also narrowed the label. So if I just go into a quick view here, I'll jump out the camera and I'll go into the actual object and solo it. So basically you can pretty much see what I was on about earlier. I've basically made it from the last blog post which I did about this. Made it much thinner in the x-axis, and it's pretty much remained the same in the y and x. That's the z, sorry. And basically by doing this, if I just check the cloner back on, it's as it loads, okay, there we go. So it's basically allowed it to stick to the surfaces of the bottle much better, and it gives it an overall better look. As my tutor was saying in the renders which I provided within the condensation post, basically they stuck out too much, and that was due to the random rotations, because it was allowed to rotate 360 degrees on a 5-degree variant left or right, and by 20 degrees as well on an angle. So this basically produced a lot of different bumps and basically protrusions on the side of the bottle, which basically made it look like ice. Realistically, in the real world, water droplets wouldn't do that, and this kind of hindered it. Although it looked good, it hindered it a lot. So basically I've just gone and corrected that, and the results look pretty darn good. So after talking about that, it was then time to discuss what would be further, what needed to be further done in order to improve this. And although this model looks good on its own, it was very lacking, and it was suggested that this could be a mixing drink for alcohol or for like squash or something else, and I really like that idea. And the way it was shown, or the way it was described, was that the product here, this model, could be accompanied by a glass showing how the product should be intended to be used. And I really like this idea. The thought of having the bottle with a glass with maybe some ice and a more transparent version of the liquid inside in that glass with some fruit at the bottom made it sound really good. So after looking at different glasses online, so there's a whole variety of different types I could choose from, and it suggested that I could have one which was meant for a cocktail mixer. So this orange one could be accompanied by a martini glass with some fruit, an umbrella, and then there could be some fruit on the floor or the surface here to form a kind of triptych with the glass, the bottle, and then the fruit. It's also suggested as well that the bottle could be supported with the use of a pitcher or a old-fashioned glass for another drink, and the overall idea of having the bottle being supported by the way it is intended to be used was really nice. So I think I'm going to follow this avenue and explore it to see how it looks. Obviously, there's going to have to be a lot of development into the glasses itself, or the jugs, or the pitcher, should I say. However, this shouldn't be too difficult, and potentially it could pay off really well. So I feel like it's a worthy avenue to explore. So in this video here, I'm going to explore that.
just haven't seen it. Now you close your eyes. They just haven't seen it. They just haven't seen it. They just haven't seen it. And now you close your eyes. They just haven't seen it. They just haven't seen it. And now you close your eyes. They just haven't seen it. They just haven't seen it.
Welcome back from the time lapse. So basically from that you could see my process pretty much of what I went through. So I basically got halfway through making this. This is meant to be the jug or the pitcher, and unfortunately it has not been going very well. The handle is not looking the best, and also I've stupidly put the subsurface division on and then made the object editable. So if I just go into the actual object itself, you can see how many like different subdivisions there are, and it's a bit ridiculous. So because of that, the unattractive or unsuccessfulness of it so far, I'm not going to continue with it. Rethinking about this as well, it would seem a bit odd having a large jug with a tiny bottle compared to with one of the flavors compared to the other two having glasses. So I think as well that that's a kind of good observation. And to be fair, that doesn't look too awful, but then again, it doesn't look great. So just coming off this, I'll turn this off. Show you the martini glass. Martini glass has turned out well. Super happy with that. It's fairly bog standard. Hurricane glass, that would be quite interesting. I think that this would be a really nice one to have. Maybe having like a straw, an ice cube, and an umbrella in with the bottle alongside. That would look quite nice. I'm really happy with that one. I got the highball glass, which basically, if I just do a quick render on this, basically the highball glass has not visible. The highball glass has a shorter height compared to everything else, and the base is also a bit thicker. This is pretty much your average medium drinking glass, particularly for like household stuff. And here you can really see the thick base and then the kind of the short top. It's not too wide, and this is fairly similar to the zombie glass, as it's called. This is basically its big brother, where you have the taller height. The base is just a tad bit thinner. Oh, and again, the base is just a tad bit thinner, but it still produces an overall similar glass. This is for your, you could see this being like a Long Island iced tea, and this one being your standard gin glass, I guess. But yeah, overall, super happy with these. The next step would be to render out a decent copy of all four of them. I'll render out the jug as well. Then after that, the next step will be to create a liquid to go inside, based off of the 3 liquids here, which I've used in the actual product here. So I've got these 3 different liquids. And then after that, it will be additional asset making, such as straws, the fruit, ice cubes, and etc. to help dress the set. So yes, that will be the next phase. So thank you very much for watching and stay tuned for more.